I'm Ian Shields, head football coach at Lenoir-Rhyne. I would like to thank all of our current PEF members for your continued support over the years. Your contributions have helped change the lives of not only our football players, but all of our Bears student athletes. If you are not currently a Bears Club member, I hope you will take this opportunity to join our team today and help keep Lenoir-Rhyne at the top of the South Atlantic Conference. Thank you for your support, and go Bears! Well, thank you, John. Before we talk about the Carson-Newman game, we look forward to the faith contest. I'd like to remind everyone just to keep your thoughts and prayers with Neil McGahee, our athletic director, who's in the hospital and recovering. And we all had a chance, most of us had a chance to go see him, and he's doing quite well in his recovery. But if you could keep Neil in your thoughts and prayers, there's not a greater Bear out there than Neil McGahee. Also, we have our fundraiser for Ashley Casey, Coach Casey's daughter. That's tomorrow evening. With Chris Peranto, a.k.a. Tonto Peranto from 13 Hours in Benghazi, best-selling book. He's a co-author of, and then a feature film coming. So that is going to be tomorrow evening. So just some updates there. Carson-Newman game, what a game. Great day if you're a Bear. And it was the best we've played as a football team to date. It was a complete game when you factor in offense, defense, and our special teams play. Everyone played well, and it was great to see. That's a fruition of a lot of hard work year-round that goes into those games. There's certainly things we can improve upon looking forward, and we'll need to have the type of season we want to have. But that was as enjoyable a Saturday as we've had this season. This thing is starting, I think, defensively, which I thought was the real key to the game initially, is our defense played extraordinarily well. Coach Casey and our defensive staff had a great game plan. We were fundamentally sound. We eliminated, for the most part, the big plays that have typified Carson-Newman's explosive offense. And we eliminated the big plays in the air as well, or their veer in the run game. So, like we talked about, the back Baker, he still found a way to get 100 yards because he's a heck of a player. And but by and large, I thought we did a spectacular job tackling, playing assignment football, and playing with a physical contest and with great effort defensively. So it's just really proud of our defensive unit. Chris Green did a great job up front in the interior defensive line. We've come to expect that from Chris, but he really made his presence felt. I thought Placid Njoku, Lindre Sparrow, Kalen Elkins all played well on the edge up front. And then our linebackers played their best game. Tanner Robinson, I believe, had 16 tackles. Jordan Forney, I believe, had 11 plus a sack, plus a tackle for loss. And then everyone can see what Hunter Toomey brings to the table as a freshman. Number 49 up there, Hunter had 5 or 6 tackles. He had 3 tackles for losses. He made his presence felt physically in that front and created some challenges for the opposition. So in the secondary, again, we were solid and sound. I thought Chris Schaefer had a great game on the back end of safety. He also won the running lot heavy hitter award, causing the big fumble on their sideline, big collision, knocks the ball out. The Lindre Sparrow scoops up and almost takes to the house. If he had just one more step, he could have got there. So again, just a great effort defensively. And that's what we've become accustomed to seeing, is that type of effort, physicality, and production defensively. And that was great to see. Offensively, of just a physical effort all the way around. We had 65, 68, I guess, not counting the penalties, gradable plays. We had over 106 knockdowns offensively. That's putting a lot of defenders on the ground. Jaleel Roberts up front at right guard played a spectacular game. I think he had 23 knockdowns in the contest and graded out at 100% assignment and effort. Joe Ray, as we shuffled the deck a little bit due to some injuries, moving Joe Ray over to left guard. I thought that paid great dividends. He wasn't quite full speed, and he wasn't quite comprehensive at left guard. I've never played that in a game before, but he's just such a good player. He adapts quickly, and he played better in the second half than he did in the first half, and started once he got the hang of it. And he played really well on the left side. Dale Howard is an all-conference center in my opinion, and an All-American. And those 3 inside are excellent football players, and our whole entire offensive line is playing at a very high level. And I think we have the best offensive line coach in the country in Tom Seamy. Jake Sutherland and Jake Slagle played outstanding at tackle as well. There's not a bad thing to be said when you're rushing for 434 yards and asserting your will upon the opposition for 4 quarters like they did. The benefactors are the guys behind them, obviously. Start with Mike Patrick. Mike had a spectacular game. 177 yards on 19 carries, 3 touchdowns. It's just some big runs in that contest. The run to finish the first half was a big deal going into halftime, giving us some momentum, putting us up 16-3 at the half. And then, towards the end there, just refusing to go down, refusing to be tackled, and breaking another long one for a touchdown, which was a run that really typified his day and our day to a degree. Chris-Dan Ivory continues to be productive. He only had, 56, 58 yards rushing, on limited carries. But he did have a big touchdown. Actually, he had 2 offensively, and then he had obviously a big one in the kicking game with a big return. So Evan Sims played well, keeps operating efficiently in the option game, very poised, very precise for just a sophomore out there doing it. And again, we saw his breakaway speed, and he rushed for 100 yards as well. So we had two guys over 100 yards on the day. James Phillips James is probably the most unselfish football player on the team, and he does it all for us. And he got some hard yards. He converted twice on 4th down with the ball in his hands for us, made some big plays. And then as a lead blocker, he's pretty destructive on the perimeter, and those little corners typically have a hard time with him and the safeties. So he's doing a super job, and again, outside, receivers, they don't get a lot of touches and catches. I think they're coming. I think there's room to be improved upon, certainly in the pass game, but I think that's coming in due time for those guys. But they do a well of a job on the perimeter. So the other thing that gets left behind and people don't talk about is the special teams, but that's a third of the game, and that's an edge for us, and it certainly was Saturday. We had over 204 yards in kickoff returns. So Chris-Dan Ivory was the SAC Special Teams Player of the Week this week, with a big one to start the game with 70+ yards, and then obviously he finished one from 97 or whatever it was in the 4th quarter there. So a big day for our kickoff return team. Also, Ivan Milliken, our punt block team. Ivan Milliken blocked another punt. That's his 3rd block punt on the season, which is 2nd in the nation. And Ivan continued. He's an explosive guy, and he's only a freshman. And Hunter Toomey, we talked about linebackers, a freshman. Kyle Duggar's a freshman in the secondary. So we got some good young players that are getting valuable experience and producing. Mikey DeStevens only punted once, but the time he did punt, he knocked him down inside the 20-yard line and backed him up and flipped the field. So that was great. In our coverage units, the return man for Carson-Newman is the leading return man in the history of the Carson-Newman football. And by and large, we bottled up their return game and we didn't give up a big one to them. So again, I thought a great job in the kicking game. Again, there's things to improve. We missed the PAT. We missed the field goal that we normally make. So it wasn't a perfect game, and it wasn't anywhere. But it was a great team win, a big win. Anytime Carson-Newman and Lenoir-Rhyne get together, we know that's a big football game. And a feather in everyone's cap here for coming out with the victory 52-17. So again, we're excited about where we're at, 4-1, only playing one home game. Where we're at in the season, we put ourselves in a good place. Now we're looking forward, okay, and looking forward to Faith this coming weekend. Faith is again an independent program. When we originally scheduled Faith, which was nearly a year ago, we had a hole in our schedule and we needed to find a game. Typically, these schedules are filled out 7-8 years in advance. They weren't. So and no one else in the country really wanted to sign up to play the Bears October 10th. Either they're in the middle of conference schedules or the people we reached out to that had an open day did not want to play us. Faith is the one that stepped up and did want to play. So at the time, it was prior to the NCAA ruling that it would be a non-county football game. The NCAA came in on June 1 of this year and said there's 38 institutions in the country of games that would not count. They qualify these games as exhibitions. So University of Faith is one of those schools. Obviously, when you get news June 1st, it's a little late to go find another game. All right, so that's how it all transpired. That's why we're playing University of Faith this weekend, and that's the reality of what the situation is. That being said, we're excited about the contest. we're going to turn the lights are going to be on the scoreboard. We're keeping score, and the Bears are playing to win. So we're excited, and again, it's another opportunity for us to sharpen our swords and get better at playing football, and that's what we intend to do. And we're excited about meeting Faith here Saturday at 2. With that, I'll take any questions. Going back, first of all to the Carson-Newman game, we're certainly moving forward here into this upcoming opponent.
With the University of Faith, how do you keep your boys focused on this game, improving this week, when there's an opponent like Wingate ahead that just jumped into the top 25?
Well, I sound like a broken record and I sound like an old coach, but I'm getting to be an older coach. We only get one game this week. We get one game, and it's against the University of Faith. And our goal every week is we want to know. So keep our blinders on, and we have improvements to be made. We have improvements in all phases to be made, and we can make them. So that's the focus, is just get better, be workmanlike in our approach, be professionals, and that's hard, easier said than done when you're talking to 18 to 22-year-olds. But I do think we have a team that cares a lot about each other, cares about getting better, and cares about winning, and we need to keep the positive momentum we just captured. We need to keep the arrow pointed up moving forward here.
Coach, in the early going, low scoring, you guys had a fumble on your first drive. Do you feel like the team had any nerves at all during that early part of the game? And at what point did they settle down and really kind of kick it into gear?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that's a valid point. I'm almost positive that's what happened. You get in big games like that, and everyone's pumped up and excited and nerves, and we had great field position early after the kickoff return, and then Evan just flipped one on the ground. It's uncharacteristic on a toss play. It was blocked beautifully. I think Chris Dan probably walks in the end zone. We just throw a decent toss out there. It's not a hard play to execute. So we missed some opportunities where I thought we could have captured the momentum and captured some points there early. So that was concerning because we were moving the ball, but either you turn it over or you get forced to kick field goals. That's never a good thing. I thought it was a key there in the second quarter. We had some opportunities where we went for it in our own territory, got it, kept drives alive, stayed on the field, finished with a touchdown. Our defense was doing a super job. And then at the end of the half, when they had the snap over their punter's head, and there was 8 seconds left in the half, and Mike Patrick pops free for a 30-yard touchdown or 31, whatever it was. That gave us great momentum going in the second half. And again, we came out with great momentum in that second half and just built upon that. And then the floodgates opened from there. And that's a credit to our guys and their belief in each other and how hard we played and the will they have.
Following up on that touchdown there before halftime, what goes into the play call? Did you think about a field goal at all with 8 seconds left, or did you think Mike Patrick was going to bust it free?
Well, best case scenario is what happened. Obviously, you got to think about the downsides in all those situations. Well, I thought it was a little bit risky, but we had a timeout in our pocket. We had one timeout left, and I thought if we got tackled immediately, then we'd have time to call a timeout, and I had the refs right next to me in case he went down. Typical play is going to last 6 seconds, so I thought we could get out of there and still have a chance to kick a field goal if we get that timeout call if he didn't score. So I also thought there was a chance that they might just be caught with their shorts down a little bit, anticipating us just centering the ball for the field goal, and there might be a chance for that play to pop. So again, best case scenario, and sometimes the good guys win and sometimes you lose in those scenarios, but we got them that time.
You seem to have stumbled upon a pretty good situation in dealing with Joe Ray's injury and then a couple other injuries on the offensive line. We're shifting Joe over, keeping Jacob in. I imagine you're absolutely thrilled to have a situation like that where you can move Joe anywhere along that line and have guys step up like Jacob has over the past 3 weeks.
Well, I do think Jacob Sutherland, his emergence has allowed some of those shifts to happen. He's been playing at such a high level at right tackle and just really taking advantage of that opportunity, and now it's making it hard to take him off the field. And then Isaac Saxon was that left guard, because Tyler Evans was the starting left guard to start the season, was playing great for us against Westchester, and then Isaac came in, and Isaac's played well at left guard. So, you only get a star 5. That's the problem. We got 6 or 7 that are capable. So again, Joe gives us some flexibility because Joe Ray is a special player. I said it again. I said it last week. I'll say it again. I think he's the best offensive lineman in the country at our level, and he gives us some flexibility because he can play any of them. He really can. He's been around there. He knows them all, and he's just a special talent. So it does give us a very formidable trio inside. When you talk about Dale Howard, Jaleel Roberts, and Joe Ray, you're talking about all guys that are powerful, explosive football players in there that can move the opposition somewhere against their will typically.
Do you see Jacob Sutherland staying in that starting five?
Well, it's possible and it's competitive. You know, I think he's playing well. Like I said, it'd be tough to take him out of there. And again, some of it's just going to be dependent on health of Isaac Sachs and dependent on health of Joe Ray, quite frankly, because I don't think we're totally out of the woods with Joe just yet.
How do you feel like a win over Carson-Newman helps set the team identity going forward?
Well, you know, it's only positive, obviously, and to win how we won, it validates a lot of things, and it validates a lot of guys that playing out there. And I think it's a great confidence booster in all three phases. But I just think defensively we really took a step forward in that contest with just fundamentally how sound we were, how well we tackled, how well we covered. You know, that was the best we've played considerably, and that was the best offense we've played to date. So again, we need to build off that defensively because I think there's more. We just need to bottle that up and bring it forth each weekend because that's how we play defense.
You talked about the enthusiasm on the sidelines last week. It rolled over to this week, and then like before the game, the quicker, leaner guys were out on the field in pregame, and when the meat came out, Michael Patrick and others met them at the stairs talking they were ready to play at home. Can you talk about the enthusiasm before the game, then carrying through to the game? Well,
there's some games in the season where, as a coach, it's pretty easy to get them motivated. You don't have to say a whole lot. And when LR and Carson-Newman square off, that's a game as a coach you don't have to worry if the team's motivated too often or at all. And again, I think we have great internal leadership on this team that is present and it's emerging. And I think that our guys are ready to play and they're excited to play. And to add to that, they're excited to play at home finally. You know, our first home contest, christening our new field turf against a conference rival in a big-time game. There was a lot to be excited about there. So to their credit, they were ready to play and ready to go. The challenge now is let's bottle that up again and have that same intensity, enthusiasm, and motivation, you know, each week going forward.
You mentioned the field turf. It rained a little bit on Saturday. If that field's grass, do you feel like the game goes a different way compared to the turf?
Oh, I think it could have been different. You know, it's hard to speculate. I know this much. It helped that the new field turf is a blessing, and it's a spectacular surface. You know, oftentimes in this world you get what you pay for, and we got the best facility in the country, and that's a credit to commitment to a lot of Bear boosters and our administration to make that type of commitment. And I think it was rewarded when you see how our guys went out and played on it this last Saturday, and it's a real advantage for us with our team speed, the way we recruit, and showing that type of commitment certainly isn't going to hurt recruiting for us, and it's only going to help going forward, speaking of the commitment to the student athletes here and their experience.
Haven't seen Carson-Newman run the split back veer for years. They usually pass out of two types of, they roll out or they do the option pitch slant pass. How surprised were you that they really didn't go to that slant this week?
Well, you know, that's always been part of their repertoire in the split back veer. There's a few, you know, there's a few bread and butter concepts in the split back veer passing game that's been around since Bill Yeoman was doing it at Houston. The guy that invented the split back veer. So, like I said, there's some things I think defensively that might have made that problematic. And you know, starting with some of the protection in the passing game, I thought we attacked some of the protection as well, and we had a good plan and coverage as well. You're never going to pitch a perfect game. That's a talented group, obviously. Carson-Newman does a great job offensively and have been for longer than some of the people in here have been alive. So, you know, like I said, I thought our defense staff had a great plan, and sometimes you got to make a team play left-handed, so to speak, and do take away what they want to do.
feel like we got more pressure on Thomas than we have all year on anybody? Because he's experienced and he's really good, but he was rattled a little bit. He got banged up some.
Well, I think.
Was that the front people?
Yeah, it was up front in combination of some different looks we gave and our linebacker pressures. He's a great player. Take nothing away from him, but any quarterback at any level of football, I don't care if it's Eli Manning or Tom Brady or Phillip Rivers, if you hit them hard enough and early enough, it's going to affect how they play. That's the nature of football. So I thought we did a nice job attacking the quarterback and pressuring the quarterback and attacking their protections. And still being focused on stopping the run game, which is still their bread and butter. So, again, it was a lot of good things. You know, when you draw up a game plan or you put different personnel in different places, you have a vision of what it could look like. I was glad to see that it came to fruition, and we played a whale of a game defensively.
You spoke of Chris Schaefer winning the Ronnie Lott Heavy Hitter Award. I think some point in the second half I told Alex this might be the first week we see 5 heavy hitters. How hard was it to pick that this week?
Well, there were some guys laying some licks out there, you know, and it was a physical contest. You know, C.J. Cody had a big hit on our side. Hunter Toomey had a couple to choose from. Truthfully, Rodney Singleton had a great hit on the last kickoff return to Kirsten. He sprung that thing. So there were some big hits on the kickoff teams, you know, with those guys running down there. You know, Grayson Wells made 3 tackles for us, and he's a starting wide receiver, you know, and he made 3 tackles on the kickoff team. So just a lot of good things. Like I said, our guys wanted it. You know, our guys wanted it, and they played hard, and that's a credit to them and our position coaches.
Coach, we're talking a lot about defense, even though your offense just continued to grind away another 430 some odd yards, churning away at that. But it did seem like there was more of a spark on defense and more intensity than there has been up to this point in the season. I don't know if it was just the vantage point, but Hunter Toomey seemed to really bring a lot of energy to that defense the way he was playing. What is his story?
Well, Hunter's an interesting guy. You know, he's a freshman. You know, we thought we were getting a talented physical player that ran well. He just doesn't let his nerves or the fact that he's a freshman get in his own way. You know, he just turns it loose and plays and likes to hit someone in a different color. You know, so he's just gonna get better, and I do think he adds something to our defense because he only knows full speed, and he might be wrong sometimes, but he's gonna go full speed, and he plays with an attack attitude. And it's infectious, you know. So I think that's something that we can build upon, and I think we're gaining our sea legs defensively. Truthfully, I think we had some new guys out there and some guys in different positions, and guys are learning how to play without a Tanner Botts out there, without a Blake Baker out there, and our corners are new and they're playing great, but it's all for the first time. So again, we're making huge strides, and like I said, we need to continue to make huge strides and have a great week of practice. And I just think guys like Hunter or any of those younger players out there are going to continue to improve and get better. And that's, if we can keep doing what we're doing and keep working hard and keep being coachable and keep doing what you're coached to do, then we'll be in the right place and we'll stop the opposition and we'll win a lot of football games.
Looking ahead this week, you mentioned it was an exhibition. Do you have thoughts or are there plans to maybe play some of the younger guys that are on the possible red shirt list or would be red shirted? No,
we don't. For one, we need our 1s and 2s, and in some cases 3s, need that. Every time, it's not like baseball or basketball where you get a doubleheader, you get another game on Thursday night. You only get these games are precious. So exhibition or not, we need our guys that are going to play and carry for the rest of them. They need to get better and they need to improve. And like I said, we're keeping score. So that's there. The flip side of that is you did have a young guy say, hey, I'm curious of what that kid would look like out there and get him some experience. We can't because then we burn his year. Even though it's an exhibition, it counts as a year of eligibility if you put him out there. We don't want to do that. We don't want to burn a kid's year that we're trying to redshirt in an exhibition contest, certainly. So like I said, we're just going to go ahead. It's a regular conference game. I mean, it's a regular season game. It's a non-conference game, and we're gonna go tee it up and go play. And that's the only way I think we can realistically proceed forward. All right. With that being said, I'd like to thank everyone for your support. Last week was a special week to be a Bear. There's more special weeks to come. Looking forward to get everyone out there this coming Saturday, 2 o'clock, back at home between the bricks again against University of Faith. Go Bears.